Today's project is something that every draw knife deserves. We're going to build a leather sheath to protect the blade, but more importantly, protect your fingers. Whether you love leatherworking, cool old tools, or just a good shop project, you're going to want to stick around because we're going to get started on today's project right now. I'm Jeff, you're watching Home Built Workshop. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the workshop. I hope all of you are doing great. I have had this draw knife kicking around in my drawer for quite some time, and really it's kind of a safety hazard because when I need something else in that drawer, I've got to be very careful and make sure I'm paying attention when I reach in there so that I don't grab hold of a sharp blade. Plus, it's not good for the blade either because other tools are banging into it and causing nicks and scratches in there. I always have to touch up the blade. I'm kind of tired of it. So now it's time to build a leather sheath to protect this thing and my fingers. I searched around and found a piece of leather that I think will work out. Should be enough material there to get a sheath out of. First thing we need to do is come up with some sort of a pattern. How do you create a pattern for an odd-shaped item just like this? Here's how I like to start out. Cereal boxes. Raisin Bran, anyone? I always try to keep an empty cereal box or two, or three, or four, or five on hand for exactly this purpose. It's heavy enough weight that it's durable. You can cut and slice and fold, and it's gonna hold up. It's great for making patterns, templates, and just kind of mocking up products. So that's what we're gonna start with. I'm gonna start out by just kind of squaring up an edge. I'm just using the fold lines that are already in the box, just so I have a nice square edge, straight edge to work with. I already have a bit of an idea of what I want to do for this sheath, and I think I want to have the leather come out a little bit farther past the edge of the actual blade. So that's going to kind of determine my average width there. We'll just take a measurement. I can just use the numbers on this cutting mat here. It looks like about 8 inches, I think, will give me enough room for what I want. 8-inch width, then we can make our folds from there. Now comes the part where I really just kind of have to play around with this thing. I want this to basically fold up and sort of wrap around the blade. It's not really a set size here, so I kind of just have to play around with some dimensions, work out where I'm going to fold it, and go from there. Right now I'm using the actual draw knife to help make a crease in the cardboard. That way it gives me more of a hard line that I can go back and start measuring from. That way I can get actual dimensions from the actual dimensions without having to measure this piece. By having the marks in the cardboard, then I can measure from there. This is just one way I've used in the past to make patterns, and really it's worked out well. It gives me at least a good starting point. You can always modify from there. So here's my simple cardboard template, kind of an envelope style. You'll slip the draw knife in there. This top piece will fold over like the flap on an envelope. And then I'm gonna have another little strap that'll wrap up around there, kind of secure everything in place. I did not cut this top flap, I guess we could call it, to size because I need to make sure that I'm accounting for the thickness of the leather. As we fold this into place, there's a chance that my actual size is gonna change once we get to working with the actual leather. So this is the only thing that is not really to size yet. Now we'll just cut this simple shape out of a piece of leather. After cutting out the pattern, kind of looking at this a little bit, I think this piece of leather is way too stiff. It's going to be a challenge to bend around everything, especially since we're just going to basically be folding it back in on itself. This piece is a really stout piece of leather. So I cut out another one from a little bit thinner piece of leather. I think it's still going to be enough of a challenge, but it is a little bit thinner, and about the thinnest piece that I have. We're going to go with this one. It's exactly the same shape and exactly the same process to cut it out, just transferring my pattern onto the leather and cutting it out. Now we're ready to move on. The next big thing that I would like to do is to wet this leather so that we can form everything around the blade. It's going to make it a lot easier to be able to fold into place. Once we have it folded and kind of molded, then we can mark out for our stitches. There's only going to be a couple stitches on either end to kind of form it into that envelope shape. Like with every project, order of operations is important. I could go ahead, wet this leather, fold it into place now, but once we do that, it's going to be in this sort of orientation. It's going to make it really hard to clean up this kind of swoopy curved area. So I want to do that now, get this all prepared before we try molding anything. Even though a 2x72 belt grinder is intended for shaping metal, I find that it's super handy on just about any type of project. Woodworking, leatherworking, you name it, a 2x72 is an invaluable tool in the workshop. With the top edge of this piece sanded to shape, now I'm going to spend a few minutes getting that edge slicked down. I'll first bevel both sides of this edge using an edge beveler. Then I'll lightly wet that edge with some regular old tap water, and I'll use a hand slicker to burnish that edge down. This burnishes down the fibers of the end grain of the leather and makes for a nice finished look. Remember, I'm only doing this edge at this time because once we wet mold this and the leather is stitched into place, I won't be able to really access this. So now is the best time to do this edge. The rest we'll worry about later. Before I wet this leather down and slap the soggy piece of cowhide onto our steel blade, I want to protect the blade from the moisture by just wrapping it up in some regular everyday plastic wrap. And just as a quick side note, before I wrap this, I did take my piece of leather and I've got it sitting in a bowl of lukewarm water. It doesn't need to sit there very long, just long enough for me to get this wrapped up and run in the house and grab it. I got my piece of soggy cow. Actually, that's going to work really good. Probably didn't even need to really soak it. I probably could have just wet it down. And now it's just a matter of shaping the piece of leather around the draw knife. I want to make sure that I get it nice and snug into the creases, and then we'll hold it in place with some clamps. I'm going to use a couple of spring clamps temporarily. I'm not going to leave these on there because if I leave them on while this dries, it's likely going to leave an imprint. I'm just kind of using them to temporarily hold things in place while I get this worked in here. This is actually kind of tricky to kind of hold in place. It's kind of like trying to wrap the thing with a wet spaghetti noodle. I'm going to try to use a piece of my cereal box as sort of a caul so that I don't put any weird marks in the leather. We'll let that dry for a while. This might take a little bit longer than I anticipated because that leather is pretty soggy. It's going to work out though. After letting this dry for a few hours, I believe it's dry enough at least that we can keep working on this. Oh yeah, not completely dry. Oh, it's actually taking the shape on even better than I expected. Oh, this is going to be cool. There, now you can see how this will work. This will be the flap that opens, slip the knife in, boom, we'll have to trim this off, and then we'll have a strap that comes up around and snaps into place. Or maybe we'll just put the snap here. I don't know. So many ways we could go. You ever found yourself adjusting the plans for a project mid-project? I might be doing that right now. Like I just said, I might change the way I was going to close this. I'm not quite sure. But I think I want to get a little bit farther along. So our next steps are going to be to get these sides stitched together. Now normally when I'm preparing a seam for stitching, I would apply some contact cement and glue that seam in place and then punch it. That way nothing can shift around. But this time around, I'm only punching 2 holes on each side. It's super tiny because all we're working with is this little notch here on the edge of the draw knife. I'm not worried about it shifting and moving around because 1 or 2 taps of the hammer and we're going to be done. I got my dividers just to make a little mark on either end, just so I know how far in to punch these holes. I probably would be just fine just eyeballing that as well. And just like that, we are done punching. Do a quick test fit here, really just to see if I need to add one more stitch to that. One more hole. I think actually we do. Glad I checked that. Now we can finish stitching that. 3 stitches. I guessed earlier when I said 2. As I do with almost every hand stitching project, I use a saddle stitch, and it is kind of nice only having 3 holes on each side that I need to stitch. After cutting the threads loose, I use a lighter to carefully melt the ends of the threads. This melts the fibers of the thread, and then I mash it all into place with the edge of the lighter. This makes it nice and smooth and keeps everything from unraveling. Now I want to go back and trim this top flap that I left long earlier. I want to trim that to size now. I can see on these ends that since we bent this and kind of let it dry, that now it's kind of pulled this out of alignment here. So we need to trim this up a little. That's no big deal. We're going to resort to the belt grinder again. There we go. It's like a little mini leather envelope. That's cool. Now we can go back and focus on cleaning up the rest of these edges. We'll use the edge beveler to bevel the edges, probably a little bit of sanding to smooth out a few things, and finally we'll get these edges slicked. Coming along good. Now I need to work out the closure. I think I am going to stick with the little strap that'll get stitched on the back and then it'll fold around with a snap. We're going to do that. I first made sure my strap is prepared by beveling the edges and slicking that as well. Now I'll just measure with a ruler to find the center of my piece, and I can mark out where I need to attach this little strap. Now normally I would hold this in place with contact cement as I mentioned earlier. However, I just checked and somehow I'm out of contact cement. So we're going to try a little bit of CA glue. We'll put some accelerator on the strap. I'm going to put a little drop, maybe 2 drops, and see if we can glue it together. It doesn't have to hold it together for long. I just need to get it punched. Well, that looks promising. Now we got to punch that. In order to punch it, I'm going to have to put a little piece of plastic or something inside here so that I don't punch all the way through into this front. I couldn't find a suitable piece of plastic, so I ended up just using a couple of pieces of scrap leather. I figured the double thickness will keep the punch from going too deep. And just like before, I'll use a saddle stitch to stitch this little strap in place. Once again, there's not all that many stitch holes, so this really only took a few minutes. That's not going anywhere. We're now ready to install the snaps. You can see I've left this long. That way I can get everything laid out and then we'll trim that to size. To lay out for this snap, I'm going to put the draw knife in there. That way everything is exactly where it's going to lay when this is in use. And I'm really just going to eyeball where this is going to go. So the snap will go right there. And then we can cut this off in that area. To punch the hole for the snap, I've got this cool Osborne rotary punch. Just going to get in here. And then, before we do anything, we're going to use that hole to mark the location of the other half of the snap. And then we can punch that hole as well. The snaps I'm using are these line 24 snaps. This is kind of just an antique kind of look. To set these, we've got this little anvil here. There's a domed side and a flat side. The domed side fits on the actual domed part of the snap. And we've got a little setter. It's beveled and tapered appropriately for the snaps. Just line that up. And we give it some whacks with a hammer. And we just do the same thing for the other side, except the other side of the snap has a little different backer. But it works the same way. Now I'm just going to clean up this mess here, and we're going to go ahead and get this piece oiled and wrap this thing up. For the oil on this little sheath, I'm using just regular old neat's foot oil. When it comes to oiling your leather projects, sometimes it can be overwhelming and a little bit confusing trying to figure out which oil you should use for this particular project. Well, really, as long as you get some oil on there, neat's foot oil, you can use olive oil. There's any number of oils that are marketed for leather, and any of those are going to fit the bill. As long as you get some sort of oil on there to protect the leather and keep it from drying out, you're going to be good. Well, this little sheath turned out awesome. My draw knife is protected. I can now keep it in the drawer where I've had it, and I don't have to worry about things banging into the blade, nicking it up, or even worse, me reaching in there and accidentally grabbing the sharp edge. Everything's safe, protected. This sheath turned out great. Really happy with the way that turned out. This was a super fun project. It's been a little bit since we've done any leather working here on the channel, and I hope all of you enjoyed following along with this little build. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever made a sheath like this or any sheath in general. What's your favorite leather project that you've ever done? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Draw knife. Let's see you try to slice my fingers now. Yeah, you can't, because you're protected. That's right. No more slices.